The film begins in 1996. An American research team in Mexico was searching for a creature in the caves. It was claimed that it was an unknown creature, which is not an ordinary creature, but a very strange one. No one has seen it before, and it has a lot of powers. People were afraid of that creature because it used to drink the blood of sheep and goats. All the farmers, hunters, and people were worried about it. Was that creature really dangerous? Was it a myth? Will that creature harm humans or not? That's what we will know in today's story. When the research team was searching for the evidence of that creature, they saw the creature's mark on the walls, which indicated that that creature is really found here. The leader of this research team was in the tent outside, who was a scientist. He was working there when he was told that he has found that creature in the cave where he was searching for it. That worker was telling the truth. After hearing this, the scientist went with the worker to the cave where he found that creature. In Spanish, it is called Chupacabra. It looked very small in size because it was a baby of Chupacabra. Now the scientist was slowly getting closer to the creature. He was not convinced that his years of hard work has paid off. Finally, the creature was found. The scientist was not looking for the creature, but he was looking for it, which he was doing for his seniors and the government, because he had invested a lot of money in this research. And now the time had come to make them face the truth, to bring this creature in front of everyone and to tell them that there were no rumors about it, but it is true. The reason behind this creature was that everyone thought that the powers it had could cure any disease. It has so many powers that we can make many medicines with it, because it was a very old creature. The scientist tried to get closer to it, but because it was a small baby, he was afraid that it might harm him. Now, without wasting time, he decides to lock the baby in the cage. But then the mother of the baby comes in front of him. When she saw that he was going to take her, she started hitting him with anger. She was quite big in size, so she hit him hard and pushed him away and quickly picked up her baby and started running away from there. She was trying to get out of these caves so that she could save her baby. Then the scientist and his research team started following her. The scientist was continuously shooting flare guns at her from which sparks were coming out. A small cobra gets hurt, which burns one of its wings. It was like a tiger and a lion, but it also had wings with which it could fly. But now that the scientist had injured it once, it was facing a lot of trouble, so it was just running away while the scientist was chasing it with his team because he wanted to catch it at any cost. Now this cobra was very smart. When it was crossing the road with its baby, a car hits it hard, with which the mother and the baby fall apart. Now the baby was fine, but the mother was injured and one of its wings was badly broken. Our research team was still following them, and because even after a lot of efforts, it could not escape them. So when the cobra got an idea, it left its baby at a safe place and went to another place, and there the research team came in front of the cars and started screaming loudly, and the cobra ran away and took it to another place so that these people could get away from its baby, which could harm its baby. Now the scientist was happy with this success. But now he had not proved one thing, which is clear, that no one was going to believe his words. For that, he needed that creature. But he found some nails and wings there, which are the main character of this story. When he was having his lunch, a boy came and started troubling him, but then the boy himself came to Alex and sat down. He was in a bad mood, and it was clear that Alex was not happy for some reason. When he came home after school, he had a fight with his mom because he did not like Spanish or the Mexican language, and here his mom was telling him to learn these two languages. Alex was very upset because he was from the same place, but he did not know the language. Alex's dad died of cancer, and since then he felt lonely, and he was always sad. His mom advised him to go to Mexico for a few days so that you can know about your family because your grandfather is there, and you have not even been there before. Now Alex did not want to go there, but he had to go for his mom. When he reached the airport, his grandfather came to pick him, who immediately hugged him and started joking with him because he had made a lot of jokes. He was happy because he was meeting him for the first time. Although Alex had also met him for the first time, but he was always so sad that he could not see much happiness. On the way, his grandfather started trying to talk to Alex again and again, but soon he found out that after his dad passed away, he was sad and worried because he was not interested in anything he never wanted to learn. Here, his grandfather still started talking to him to cheer him up. He tells him that I live in a village where your 2 cousins have also come, who will spend time with you so that you can get along with them. Alex meets his cousin first, who only knew how to speak Spanish. She was wearing a mask and there was a cloth wrapped around her back, which looked like she was playing like a superhero. But soon we found out that the mask and cloth were his grandfather's, that he was a very good and famous wrestler. Now here Alex meets his other cousin, who shows him a lot of masks and wrestling clothes and drinks, the trophies won by his grandfather, then shows him his grandfather's video on TV, from which Alex also came to know that my grandfather was a very good wrestler of his time. He was so famous and brave that he won a lot of fights, but one day his enemy threw him into a well where wrestling takes place, which immediately made him unconscious. He was immediately taken to the hospital, but he did not come to his senses when the doctors checked him. They found out that he had been in a coma for a month now. His wrestling career was over, and a deep effect on his brain. Which is still there, he often forgets things. Knowing this, Alex felt very bad for his grandfather. When he felt very bad, he took off his mask, but there was only a goat. But then he looked at his grandfather, who was going to the farmhouse. Alex got confused. He doubted that grandfather was hiding something, so he also followed him, standing outside. He sees that grandfather has gone inside. He is holding a music box in his hand, which he is playing, and looking in front, which looks like he is waiting for someone to come. Alex was standing outside. He felt that there is a dangerous animal in the bushes which is coming towards him, so he moved back. Then he screamed loudly and fell down, hearing his voice. Grandfather also came out to check him, and his cousins also opened their eyes. Alex told them that I felt a dangerous animal in the bushes. I screamed out of fear, but instead of a dangerous animal, a black rabbit comes out. His cousins started making fun of him, saying that you are such a coward, you got scared of a rabbit. His grandfather started asking Alex, "Tell me the truth that you saw him there now." Alex started doubting his grandfather, that really grandfather is hiding something. He was sitting here expecting some other animal, that he will be here there. The scientist also got the last warning from his seniors and the government, that if he does not show that animal, he will be banned the next morning. When Alex opened his eyes, he saw the same creature on the bed. But he was not harming Alex. He was just sitting on his bed. But suddenly Alex was shocked, and because he was a little scary. Alex got scared. He moved back. He got scared, he started jumping. Then he jumped on the things and ran out of the window. Alex's cousin came there to see what happened. Alex looked out of the window to see where that creature would have run, but he could not see. But Alex's cousin was sitting there. She was wearing headphones. She did not hear anything. Alex thinks that if I tell her something, she will make fun of me again. She will laugh at me. So without telling anything, he comes and sits next to her. Alex's cousin says that Alex is missing. We should look for him. So the 3 children go to the market to look for him. But even after looking for a long time, they do not find him now. When the children were going home by car, they found their grandfather, who had a goat in his hand. He got down quickly and went to him. But when he asked, he did not remember anything. He said that it is important to go home. So now the children took him home by car, where the search team was looking for the creature. Now grandfather knew what the team was doing here, but the children were unaware of this. After coming home, Alex tells his cousin that I have a doubt on grandfather. He is hiding something from us, and as far as I believe, he is hiding the old creature, but his cousin does not believe this. Although Alex shows him the music box and tells him about going to the farmhouse at night, but still she does not believe now. Alex takes the music box and goes to the farmhouse and starts playing music. After listening to the music, the rat comes out. Alex drops the music box in front of him. He was scared, but soon he realized that this rat will not harm me. They came close to each other, and thus they became friends. The dead rat was also locked in the box, but obviously Alex was not going to eat it as soon as he opened the box. His heart broke. He says to the rat that I can't eat this. It is very bad. And because this rat was a child, he was scared of the sound of electricity. Then Alex, just like a friend, gives him support. He took him with him the next morning. The 2 children were very scared of the rat, because it was strange that it could walk and fly. But soon they realized that it will not harm us, and they also became friends with the rat. Then his grandfather came here. He lovingly called the rat to him, who immediately went to him like a loyal animal. Here his grandfather started telling the truth that a few days ago at night when I was coming home, his mother came from my car and collided so that we could understand that it was not the mother of the rat, but of the search team. Then he says that I thought it was an ordinary animal, so I ignored it and went ahead. But when I got close to the house, I found this because its mother had gone somewhere else, and this poor thing followed me to the house as soon as I saw it. I understood that it is scared, and it will not harm me, so I brought it to my house. Then I found out that the search team was looking for it. I was worried that if it touched them, then some experiments will be done, so I kept it here to save its life. Knowing this, the children also felt pity, and from then on they started taking care of it. But unfortunately, one day a scientist and his companion came to their house when the rat collided with the grandfather's car. Then its plate fell on the road. The scientist says that it is yours because I have found out, and now I have to search your house. But grandfather without fear says that I will not allow you to do this and threatens it and makes it run away. Alex and Chupa's friendship was getting deeper, but because he was a child and he was also scared, so for now. He could not fly because he could not dare. Then his cousin helps him. He takes him to the roof and teaches him to fly, and again he is trained. How to fly. Now it was clear to Alex that now he is happy. He got such a good friend and also such a good grandfather and cousins. Then one day grandfather started telling him about his dad, that when I left wrestling, I taught it to your dad, he was my son. But then one day he met your mom, he got married, and from then on he left wrestling. Alex felt very bad listening to his dad's words, because of which his grandfather also realized that Alex has a lot of anger. So he decides that I will get rid of his anger and make it normal, for which he fights with him and tries to make him fight so that he can get rid of his anger. But because he was his grandfather, he did not want to hit him. But in the end, when his grandfather did not listen, he got angry. He fights with him and pushes him. He falls so hard that he immediately fainted. Seeing this, all three children were very worried. Then one day a doctor is called who checks grandfather and tells him that his memory has gone for a few days. He has to take complete rest that day. The scientist came to his house again. As soon as he went to the farmhouse, he sees Chupa there. He kills him with a gun and makes him unconscious and picks him up in his lap and starts taking him with him. Although the children were stopping him, they try to save Chupa. But because they were children, the scientist also shows them the gun and takes Chupa away. Chupa wakes up and comes to his grandfather when he was sleeping. He wakes him up and tells him that you have to save Chupa. His grandfather's memory had gone, so he asks, "Who is Chupa, and who are you?" Now, Alex uses his brain. He gets an idea. He tells his grandfather that there is an enemy group in your house who threw you out of the ring. Hearing this, his grandfather got very angry. He quickly puts on his mask and hangs his old clothes and comes out. He kicks him, which makes him fall very far. Then he uses his strength and easily defeats him, because he was a wrestler after doing this. They all come out and sit in the scientist's car and run away because he had already put Chupa in the car. Seeing this, the scientist quickly informs his team about this. They were very happy to sit in the car because now they were going to leave Chupa at his house where his whole family would be. Chupa asks him, "Where did you see?" His mom going, because where his mom would have gone, there would be his house, so we will take him there. But as usual, his grandfather forgot this too. They started loving Chupa, then as soon as they get out of the car. Chupa himself starts running away. Seeing this, they also started running after him because they understood that Chupa knows the way to his house and is running in the same direction. Alex was right behind Chupa. They both come running to a deep pit on which a thick pipe was placed now because Chupa was afraid of flying, so he does not fly forward but started moving forward through the pipe. Then he starts saying bye to him now. When Alex was standing behind, then the tiger comes there, which was moving forward to attack Alex. He got very scared of this and started climbing on the pipe. Then his grandfather also came here, and because she was very brave, so she started fighting the tiger as soon as she runs away from there. Then the pipe breaks, which was about to fall down, so he grabs the small pipe after giving his friend in trouble. Chupa came back and started climbing on the pipe to save Alex, but that pipe also breaks. But fortunately, Chupa had learned to fly, so he helps his friend that Alex grabs his tail. Then Chupa flies him out and saves Alex's life. They meet each other and become very happy. Then a scientist comes. He shoots Chupa and makes her unconscious and threatens everyone to leave her this time. The grandfather and the child were helpless, so even though they did not want they move back, the scientist shows them the arrow and picks up the unconscious Chupa and puts it in his car now as he started going from there to save the small Chupa. The whole Chupa family comes there who all attack his car. They started hitting him with anger. The grandfather and the child become very happy that now Chupa will save the child. But the scientist was clever. He came out with the small Chupa and started threatening the big Chupa. The small Chupa came to her senses. The grandfather comes from behind and catches the scientist. He turns his arm and gets Chupa free at the end with a wrestling trick. He picks her up and shoots her on the ground, which makes the scientist faint. Small. Chupa comes to her family and becomes very happy. Now Alex and Chupa were very good friends, so they say goodbye to each other, after which they go to their own house. Now Alex was very happy with his cousins, and now after a few days he had to go to his house. He spent a very good time here where he used to be sad. He did not like his family, but now after knowing the family after spending such a good time with them, he will miss them a lot. His grandfather was also happy now. They say goodbye to each other. They hug each other, after which Alex comes in the train and returns home. But when Alex saw outside there Chupa was flying in the air, he was very happy. He was having a lot of fun. Alex was surprised to see him, but also happy because now he will always live a free life here. Chupa fulfilled her friendship. She came to show Alex her face, so they were very happy. Whether it is an animal or a human, if someone is able to fulfill it, then you always feel happy with them with this. The story of this movie ends here.